Alright. So, today we're gonna be looking at something that I've been talking about for a little while. What we have in front of us is basically a Through the Breach Primeval Titan Summoners Pact Balakut list. Okay? So, a lot of people will look at this and say, oh, this is just basically escape shift, right? The shell is quite similar, actually, but the deck is something completely different. This is quite similar to a list that my brother played at the Prix Vegas earlier this year. He went 12 and 3, and I think he finished like around 40 or something like that. But this is very close to his list. I still made a couple of changes from his list because when he played the deck, KCI was not much of a known quantity. So this deck was not very prepared to play against KCI. It made sense because he played against KCI a total of 0 times throughout the tournament. But nowadays I think that we need to have some kind of interaction for KCI. So how does this deck work? Basically, we have our RAM package, okay, which is gonna be this. The best one of this is going to be Search for Tomorrow, basically because this is kind of like a card that we play on turn 1. And besides that, we don't really have many cards, many plays on turn 1 besides like Lightning Bolt or something like that. Then we have Sakura Tribe Elder, and then we have Farseek. Okay, it's not that much. Simian Spirit Guide is like a pseudo ramp, and I will now explain how Simian Spirit Guide works. It works a little bit different than the rest of the other ramp spells. Then we have our removal package, which is, it's not super crazy. We just have 4 bolts, and then a split between Anger and Sweltering Suns for meddling mage purposes. So that way, they are not just able to name Anger of the Gods, and we are like locked out of being able to to kill the guys. At least this gives us, a couple of options. Then we have our threats. All of these are perfectly castable in the deck. I have in the past been able to get to the point where I just hard casted Woodfall Primus, so this guy is definitely castable. And then we have the combo element of it, okay, which is gonna be the Through the Breach. What Through the Breach does is it turns this instead of a turn 4-5 combo deck into a turn 3 combo deck, which is definitely where you want to be in Modern. The ways to make it to turn 3 Through the Breach are turn 1 Search for Tomorrow, plus land drop, of course, into land drop, and Sakura Tribe Elder or Farseek, either or works. And then this will make it so when you untap for your turn 3, Search for Tomorrow actually resolves, it comes off suspend, it gets cast, and you actually start the turn with 4 mana. Then you're able to play your 5th land drop, and boom, you cast your Through the Breach. And the way that Through the Breach works with Primeval Titan is you're gonna start the turn with 4 lands, okay? Let's say that you have like a mountain, a forest, stomping ground, and a Valakut, okay? Let's say that these are your lands. Then you play your land for turn, and you play a Cinderglade or a stomping ground or whatever. Now, what this does is, what we have in play now is 1, 2, 3 mountains and 1 Valakut, okay? We Through the Breach, and we put a Primeval Titan in play, which of course these 4 Summoners Pact also represent a Primeval Titan, right? We play the Primeval Titan. With the attack trigger, we figure out what it is that we're missing. Okay, we already have 1 Balakut and we have 3 mountains. So what we're gonna go get with the attack trigger is going to be another mountain to make it 4 mountains and a second Valakut. Okay? Now, the Titan has haste because of Through the Reach. So in that very turn, the Titan can attack. The Titan attacks, we get another trigger, and what we get with this trigger is a couple of more mountains. Okay, at this point, these last two mountains are going to see a total of 6 mountains in play. What this will do is this will trigger Valakut a total of 4 times, adding up to 12 damage. When we add that to the 6 damage that the Primeval Titan does, because it's just a 6/6 dude, we add up to 18. Okay? If your opponent shocked, if your opponent did anything like that, then they are dead. If not, what you can do is with those 4 Valakut triggers, what you can do is you can basically nuke your opponent's board and then start playing like a control deck after that. Okay? So you're gonna nuke your opponent's board. They have nothing going on. You untap, and then you start like playing lands, and every single land represents 6 damage. And then just by making land drops, you will eventually win. Of course, this is pretty much a crash course, I guess. What Simian Spirit Guide does is if none of this is a forest, if one of these lands is a basic forest, we're screwed. But if none of this is a basic forest, let's say that the lands that you have in play are this. Okay, you have 4 lands in play, and you use Simian Spirit Guide to pay for this through the breach. You're still able to get there, okay? Because you have 4 mountains. The enter the battlefield trigger gets 2 Valakuts. The attack trigger gets 2 mountains. We're still in the same spot. So Simian Spirit Guide also works. Oh, it is time. So the Simian Spirit Guide also helps into making these turn 3 through the reach. So that's pretty much the deck. This Wood for Primus right here is honestly probably my single favorite card in the deck. It just does so many random things. It kills Tron lands, which can be of course very relevant against Tron. It kills Planeswalkers, so you can like end of turn of your opponent like through the breach and like bring in a Wood for Primus, destroy their Jace, then the Wood for Primus attacks, or it also through the breach kills the creature at the end of turn. It forces you to sacrifice it. But Wood for Primus has persists, so it comes back and it actually comes back for an anchor, and it actually takes an extra permanent from your opponent. So it can kill Blood Moon, it can kill Damping. No, Damping. We don't care about Damping Sphere. It can kill like lands with Utopial Sprawls against Bonsa. It can kill Planeswalkers, as I was saying, enchantments, artifacts, you name it. Primus can take care of it, as long as it's not a creature. So in terms of the sideboard, what we have here is this is kind of like the removal package for artifacts. We are pretty afraid of KCI. I don't think that that's going to be a good matchup. And even Affinity can be a tricky matchup. So this is all the stuff that kills artifacts. A Reclamation Sage also for Blood Moon, of course. We have Damping Sphere against Tron, against Storm, against even Amulet. We have 1 explosives as an extra, a different kind of sweeper. Of course, we can only explosives for up to 2, but usually that's often enough for the matchups where we want this. An extra sweeper. And then we have our mid-range package. It's very common when we play against Jund or we play against Control. When we play against Jund mostly. Through the Reach is just not a good card because it doesn't do anything by itself. And Simian Spirit Guide is not a good card either. Because it's just, 3 mana 2/2 that is just mana that dies. Okay, Simian Spirit Guide it's only speed, okay? It's not really a good card overall. So what we do is we side these guys in and we actually bring actual threats. Like Gaia's Revenge, Tireless Strikers, etc. And we can even bring in some disruption in the control matchups. In Jund, this is also disruption against graveyard strategies like KCI, Dredge, etc. Even though Dredge is usually a really good matchup for us. But yeah, so this is like a brief introduction into the deck. We will hop into a league and we will actually see the deck in action. and you guys will see what I'm talking about and why I think that this deck is. I don't know if it's better than Scape Shift. It probably is, but even more so than that, and more important than that, it's way more fun than Scape Shift. This deck allows for some very interesting play patterns, which I'm a big fan of. So this deck is actually fun, which makes it much better in my eyes. Okay, so here we go. Let's get in there. And let's start breaching some Primeval Titans. And yes, Primus is definitely good versus Boggles. No questions there. Red Green Breach. Alright. Let's go. Let's go. Also, another question that it's probably bound to happen at some point is, why is there no Scape Shift? The truth is that it's just a completely different kind of deck. Scape Shift, I see Scape Shift more as a combo control deck. This one we're trying to get the game over with. Okay, this here we're trying to get there fast. Scape Shift is an I win card in the late game, but as you can see, we're only playing 25 lands. We're not as land heavy as Scape Shift, because we'd rather have the speed of Simian Spirit Guide over the consistency, I guess, of Scape Shift. So I'm gonna keep this hand. We have some early ramp, and we have our combo in hand already. See what my opponent is up to over there. Is this the mirror? No, Wild Neck Cattle. Okay. Well, hopefully this is not like the Suicide Sue deck, because that deck is miserable to play against for us. It looks like it's just like Naya stuff. Like burn-ish, I guess. What? Yeah, okay, so it's definitely burn. So I'm just gonna take a bunch of damage here, but it's fine. I mean, it's fine for now. It won't be fine in a minute, but that's not a bad draw at all, actually. That will give us some board control here. I'm gonna try to attempt to block this Nakatl here to soak up some damage. And because this Wooded Foothills represents Cinderglade, which is gonna be basically Taiga. Okay, it's just a dual land with no drawback. We are going to be fetching for a mountain with this guy instead of a basic forest. So our best possible draw here would be Simian Spirit Guide. If we draw a Simian Spirit Guide, we win the game. So that's cool. If we do not draw a Simian Spirit Guide, I guess the second best draw for us would be Searing Blaze. Okay, so my opponent is very much on burn. And now I very much need to find the Simian Spirit Guide here. What do we draw? I draw a Bolt. Yeah, that's not great. I will swipe my opponent's board here, but I don't think this will be enough. We're basically dead to any 3-mana spell, and this doesn't get me there. I guess I'll have to go for it if I'm forced to, but okay. So I am going to do this, and if my opponent fetches on their upkeep, I am going to wait. My opponent fetches, so I am going to sack this in response in order to play around Searing Blaze. If my opponent has another Searing Blaze, they will need a target for this. So now they don't have a legal target for Searing Blaze, and they don't have landfall anymore. We're still in really rough shape, but now if we draw an untap land, we're actually in a fine spot. Okay, Goblin Guide, give me an untap land, please. Goblin Guide, give me an untap land. Hold! Frustrating. Okay, we're gonna bolt this. So, here's the question. Is it more likely that my opponent... My opponent 100% has a Searing Blaze in hand. The question is, does my opponent have a 3 mana burn spell as well? If my opponent has... But I just don't want to give them more turns. Okay? I think that every turn that goes by makes it worse for me because my opponent gets closer to drawing whatever it is that they need. So I think I am going to... I think I'm going to risk it. Okay? I'm going to bite the bullet. I am going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to do this right now. If we had drawn an untapped land there, of course this would be academic. We just play it, and we don't even need to be worried about a 3 mana burn spell. But if my opponent has a 1 mana burn spell anyway, then we're dead anyway, right? Because they can target the Primeval Titan with the Searing Blaze just to deal it 1 damage. So we're just gonna do this, and we're gonna go for it right now. If my opponent has a 3 mana burn, yeah, they do. Okay. Okay, so we died. They had 2 cards in hand. Oh, no, sorry, my bad. There we go. Now you should be able to see. They had 2 cards in hand. One of them was for sure Searing Blaze, and the other one was the Atarka's Command. But every draw step that goes by, I think that things get worse for me. Because I am closer, they are closer and closer to finding the Lightning Bolt. So I think that going for it there was not bad. Here from the board, my opponent is clearly on a creature heavy build. They showed me Wild Nacatl, so I am actually going to bring the extra sweeper. And I'm going to, of course, bring in the both of the ballots. In terms of what to side out, we can side out... And this is the interesting thing about this deck, is that sideboarding can be very tricky. Usually if I resolve a single prime time, I will win the game. So I can probably side out 1 Primeval Titan. Since having the option to, you know, be able to get an Obstinate Baloth if I want to. It's quite valuable for me. And then I can probably side out 1 Simian Spirit Guide. Because at this point I'm trying to go a little bit longer with all my sweepers and stuff. Maybe this is wrong and I should actually like not even worry about the Velots, and just because I'm on the play I have to leverage that. So I want to have all of my, you know, fast combo pieces, I guess. Yeah, actually, since we're on the play, let's do that. Let's do that. I'm just gonna play just the 1 Baloth for the Woodfall Primus, and I guess we can side out 1 Simian Spirit Guide, and that's it. I want to have all my bolts as 1 mana interaction. And we'll see what happens. On the draw, I definitely want some extra, the extra Baloth, but yeah. This hand is ridiculously slow, so I'm going to mulligan. And this right here is the worst card in the deck. There's 2 basic forests in the deck, and every time you draw any of them, you feel awful because they don't do anything of the things that you want to be doing. I will mulligan this hand again. Holy crap! Okay, we're not doing great. I'm gonna bottom this because I want to see a green source. Although I guess because I suspect my opponent's gonna have Goblin Guys that I should... Okay, never mind. Never mind. My opponent is playing Burn. I find that very interesting. I hadn't seen a wild Nacatl in a burn shell in a really, really long time. Okay, so we got half of the combo. Geez, so we're dead next turn. Holy shit. Yeah, the basic forests are basically there because otherwise we just die to Blood Moon. That's literally like the only reason why they're there. Is my opponent has a turn 3 win? No. Yeah, I don't think anything saves me here. I'm just dead on board. My opponent with 3 cards in hand. Yep, we're dead. Okay. Let's see if we were gonna get there. Primeval Titan? Nope. On the plus side, we had them dead on the next turn. So, yay. But that's why we need to ramp, you know, because turn 5 kill, not good enough in Modern. Okay, so that was a rough start. But this is something that will happen with this deck, though. It's kind of something that you have to accept and move on. Because, you know, we have no real cantrips. And we also have no way of controlling the top of our deck. So we are at the mercy of what the top is. But well, let's try again, shall we? Jesus, these hands. I'm going to mulligan this. Double Balakut can be good, but it can be horrendous. So I'll just mulligan. This hand is way better. I'm on the draw. I already have a prime time. I just want breach or ramp. I'm playing against Tron. Okay. This is usually not a bad matchup. In general, we're able to be faster than they are. But well, you know, sometimes they just Tron you out like Tron does. Okay, this is good for me for sure. Oh, I missed the follow right there. It's Mike 2013. Thanks for following, man. Okay. So, didn't I just bottom my Primeval Titan? Didn't I just? I definitely bottom my Primeval Titan. Okay, Magic Online did its Magic Online things. Let me think. My opponent cannot destroy a land this coming turn. So I think what I'm going to do, yes, is I am going to ramp this turn. I am going to go get a Sakura Tribe Scout with the Summoner's Pact, and this will guarantee that I will have a prime time on turn 4. Sakura, play Sakura, and pass the turn. Of course, I'm doing this because the Search for Tomorrow is coming up this coming turn, so. That's how I'm going to be able to pay for my pact, basically. And one of these is going to be a basic forest. I have enough mountains, and I want to make sure that that Karn minus on one of my forests is not able to destroy me. And here I have to be extremely careful, make sure that the triggers resolve in the correct order, because otherwise I'm gonna be in trouble. Okay. So we pay for Pact. We're playing against Tron, so I'm really not concerned about having Taigas. Okay. Let's see, my opponent needs to crack this in order to finish Tron. Okay, cool. So this is gonna be... He's gonna have Tron on turn 4, but it's not going to be... Okay. Now let's think. Do I bold face? I have enough lands that I don't think I need to bold face right now, so I will hold the bolt in my hand. Here we're just going to cast Prime Time and get a couple of Balakuts. And we should be in a reasonable spot, unless my opponent has like exactly Ulamog. Ulamog I don't think we can beat. Everything else we can beat. But if my opponent does not have exactly Ulamog this turn, we are in good shape. My opponent has exactly Ulamog this turn, so we're not in good shape. We can still win. If only you'd been here a turn earlier, huh? If only you'd been here one turn earlier. Okay, I'm gonna see what my opponent does here. I'm going to exile a bunch of my deck, so I'm going to bring out my exile pile. We only have 3 basic mountains left for this Sakura. Okay, all of them are still in the deck. Do we have we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So all of our Titans are down. That's of course awful news. I am going to take this 10 because if I happen to draw another one of my Balakuts, I want to maximize the amount of damage that I do. Chromatic Star. I don't think I have enough though. I don't think I have enough. If I draw Primus, maybe? If I draw exactly Primus... Oh, my opponent has more things? Oh, they have another Ulamog. Okay. Ugin. Okay, Ugin I can beat. Ugin I can beat. They went and got Walking Ballista. 3 damage. Okay. So at this point we are on the try to draw exactly Primus. I don't think it's gonna be enough though, because Primus is going to be 6 damage. 6 damage, blow up 2 lands, but then we're gonna die to Dekin from the Ulamog, which is very unfortunate. Nope. Okay. We got Tron. It's a little bit frustrating because it had to be exactly Ulamog. We could beat literally every single one of their other threats. We beat them handily. But it was Ulamog. Okay, so here I want Damping Sphere. Of course, I do not want the ramp, the sweepers. And I think I might want Ancient Grudge as a one-off. Probably over one of the bolts. Just as a one-off though. I don't think I want to... This can, like, force them into doing weird things with you know, sometimes you get to kill their expedition map when we're on the play. You know, you get to blow up O-Stone, you get to blow up Worm Coil, stuff like that. I also kind of like Tracker in this matchup because it comes early and it comes down early and it's a clock that I need to deal with, but when we're on the play at least I want to be all in. I don't want to be messing around. Want to be ramping and breaching. Okay, so this is one of the sketch hands that this deck gets. We have enough lands, and we actually have a ramp, which is also pretty relevant. I think this is gonna be a mulligan just because I'm playing against Tron. If I were playing against like some other deck, like a mid-range deck or whatever, this is a keep with this deck, and you just hope that the top of your deck delivers. But since we're playing against, you know, stupid Tron, we are kind of, I think I'm forced to mulligan here. These hands have been something else, huh? Do I go to 5 here? Do I go to 5? My opponent kept 7. I think if I just draw land for every single turn for the rest of the game, I win. So I'm going to keep this. Okay, that's the worst land, but it's a land. Play a land and pass a turn. Okay. Show me not a Tron piece. That's a Tron piece. There it is. Land. Okay. 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 Oh, they just had natural Tron. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. And they make the correct play of going after the forest. Yep. Okay, so I am going to actually kill this Karn right now. Go get a stomping ground. And bolt the Karn. This really sucks because I was thinking about bolting them at end of turn. So so a Primeval Titan, a Breach prime time for 18 was gonna be lethal. And here I'm suspending. I'm already way too far behind on land drops, so I cannot afford to exile this Spirit Guide to cast this Search for Tomorrow. So I know it's 2 turns that I have to, you know, survive and not die, but I don't think I can do. I don't think I can afford to exile this Sinner Spirit Guide. I'm already down to 5. Work Coil we can beat, but he has another Karn. Yeah. Do Tron opponents always have it? Is that like a must? I hope they plus here. If they plus, okay, if they plus, they give me a chance. If they cannot deal with my land, they are giving me a chance here. So they have to not deal with my cards. Please don't deal with my cards. Meaning, please no extra card, no World Breaker, no Ulamog this turn. Ghost Quarter. Okay, that one is not bad. That one is fine. That one is totally fine. Uh, I think I just pass and I untap here. Search for Tomorrow comes off suspend. Cast this. Go get a mountain. Okay. 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 Does this change anything? I exile. I can breach right now, but it's the same thing to do this off of a. It's the same thing to do this off a mountain. Okay. 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 Yes. Why did I not play around the surgical? Wow, they really had it all. They really had it all. That was my mistake, okay? So I could have floated a mana, and now I could be playing around this. I could be breaching. I could have floated a mana there, got my land, pay 4, exile Sim and Spirit Guide, and actually... That was a really bad punt. I should have... Even if I'm not gonna use it, I should just float the mana just in case. Yeah. Yep. I went from winning the game to losing the game. Yep. This was really bad. This just cost me the game. Yep. All right. So that was a very, very bad mistake from me. And now I don't think we can win anymore. My opponent is going to see the shame. My opponent is going to see the shame. And we're going to be really sad. My opponent is smart and they exile all the Valakuts. Even the one in the graveyard. Yep. Bud punt. Bud punt. Yep, we should have won that game. Okay. So we're learning. We're learning. It's been a really long time. Anyway, I'm explaining to my opponent what was the punt that I made, what was the mistake that I made, and I tell them that yes, they should have died if I had floated that mana. Okay, so we learned something right now. Always... Oh, my opponent has a second surgical. Okay, so yes, I was not beating that hand anyway. I was not beating that hand anyway, but yes, it was still a mistake on my part. Holy crap, my opponent really had it all right there. I don't think there was any way I could beat that hand. Even if I did a mulligan, I think I was dead anyway. Huh. Beats, bad beats. Okay. Let's see if we get if we can win a game here. Okay, cool. So this is one of the hands that this deck has. That is a keep, and then you just basically hope. So the questions here is whether do I want to play a Valakut on turn 1, and then play a Scout or a Farseek on turn 2. And I think that the best thing to do is to give myself the option of drawing another land here. So probably doing this is gonna be better. And I suspend Search for Tomorrow on turn 1. keep it over there. So we have 6 and we are 0, 2. Okay, so if we draw any untapped land, we actually can speed up the process, which is cool. We do not, which sucks a little bit, but it's fine. Drawing another Farseek means that we can start. These Valakuts are going to start doing damage soon. What is my opponent playing? Are they on goblins? They're like in a weird list of goblins. So this guy makes it so my Tribe's Elder cannot jump because it gives them first strike and trample. So that kind of sucks, but it's okay. So I really want to get all my mountains because I want to get these Valakuts online ASAP. And again, because my opponent has this guy, I cannot jump with the Tribe Elder. So yeah. So here we just need to draw Primeval Titan and we are gonna be good. Bushwhacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if they have like a Goblin Grenade, I die. Okay, they don't. So here I am forced into doing this. So I play Tribe Elder. I play Farseek. 1, 2, 3. Gonna go get a basic. And then I play this. And now this Tribe Elder is going to represent 2 Valakut triggers, which might not be enough anyway, depending on what my opponent has. Again, it's all about that Legion Loyalist. The fact that he had the Loyalist makes it really hard for me to beat them now. They have lethal here, I think. Oh, they just have multiple whackers. Okay, yeah, so we are very dead. We are very, very dead here. I guess my opponents can attack with all, because, I mean, why wouldn't they? So I can kill the Denizen and I can kill, like, whatever, and I still take 8. Yeah, I'm dead. Alright, so we're getting destroyed today. Let's see if we can win a single game at least. Explosives looks good against my opponent's mono 1-drop deck. Anger looks good. Baloth. I want Baloth. Primus out. Baloth. I want all my sweepers. I want my 1-mana interaction. Because I'm going to slow down, I think I can cut one of the breaches and one of the spirit guides. Probably cut. No, I don't want to cut Primeval Titan. I don't want to cut any ramp. I think I'm going to cut another one of the breaches. There we go. Okay, so I have a lot of interaction, and I have some ramp too. We're just missing how to win the game, but I think if I can prevent my opponent from winning the game, we are going to win. Goblin Guide. Okay, this is definitely worth a bolt here. This 2 damage is going to be very relevant. Okay, bolt your guide. My opponent also drew me a land, which is pretty sweet. Very nice of them. I think I'm gonna play the basic Mountain and Pass. This is because it's the land that they already know about, and I also have Foothills can now go get Taiga. Because I have 2 basics. Goblin Guide, Loyalist. I think I'm gonna take the 3 here. Summoner's Pact. Okay, that's not a bad one. And I'm gonna play the Explosives on 1 here. And kind of see what my opponent does. There's no need for me to pop this. I can pop it if my opponent decides to like Goblin Grenade one of their dudes and then like, you know, do whatever, then I can just not pop it and it's fine. I imagine that what they're gonna do is like they're gonna attack. Tri-Builder. That's actually not a bad draw. But I think I need to pop it right here. We're gonna get our 2 for 1. And we also steal my opponent's attack step, which is very relevant. Now if my opponent plays a bunch of things post board, we can anger them away. So I think there's a lot of value in doing this. Okay. That is not bad. That is a Primeval Titan next turn. Anger of the Gods. Swipe your board. Feeling pretty good about this game right here. Feeling pretty good about this game in particular. Unless my opponent has like exactly Blood Moon or something. Because Blood Moon would be bad. Blood Moon would be really bad. Bushwhacker kicked. Okay. These I can beat. I think it's worth a bolt to save 2 damage. Cinderglade. Bolt your dude. It would be nice to draw a Primeval Titan here instead of the Summoner's Pact, so we can play around Blood Moon, but I'm not going to play around Blood Moon. If my opponent has Blood Moon, I guess I'm dead. I guess I can play around Blood Moon by getting 2 basic forests here. Is that worth it? I think it might be, actually. There's no need for me to get myself dead to Blood Moon, and I don't think that my opponent can kill me from here. So I'm going to make the not winning play right here, and actually play around the only way that I think I can lose. Never mind. Well, that was hilarious. I guess there are other ways I can lose. Okay. This is definitely not worth an anger, so I'm not going to. Maybe this is me playing around things that I should just not be playing around. Never mind. We win. We win. I think I get Valakut here. So as you can see, once we survive the early onslaught, the late game very much favors us. My opponent is like swinging for 1 every turn, and we just cast Primeval Titan. Yeah, now every single one of these like far six and stuff represent 6 damage. So 1, 2, and I can like swipe their board if I want to. I don't think we were dying from there. Okay, so we're on the draw now. So I'm a little bit more interested in through the reach because I need to kind of like steal the play from them. Maybe we can do this. I feel like I need to try to, make my combo happen right here. Okay. Turn 1 Anger of the Gods with a prime time in hand already. Okay, sure. Because they're showing me the Denizen here, maybe I am interested in playing Bailoff on turn 2. So I want to leave myself the option. Sacred Foundry. That's very interesting. Loyalist. Okay. Goblin Guide. Okay, I think I am going to be... here I'm gonna wait for the Goblin Guide trigger because I can also get like Forest and get a Forest here, get a basic Mountain here, and exile Simius Guide. So depending on what my... Okay, never mind. So Goblin Guide reveals basic Forest. Okay, so I am going to... Okay, this is definitely an Anger turn right here. So we play basic Forest, Stomping Ground, sorry. Again, my opponent has this, so Tribe Scout actually does not do what I want him to do. So I definitely want to be swiping the board here. Next turn, I can either Bailoff if I need to, or I can also play Tribe Elder. And now Blood Moon, I just don't care about really, because I can already cast a Tribe Scout through a Blood Moon already. And I doubt my opponent has Blood Moon in their deck anyway. I'm out of water. Alright, Denizen into Bushwhacker kicked, yep. Take 5 here. Okay, this is very interesting. I can Anger. Option 1. I can Bailoff. Option 2. But I have to go get a basic Forest in order to Bailoff, because I am for sure not taking more damage. I'm not taking 3. I can try Elder and play a tap land, setting up for Bailoff next turn. That's another option, but that is like the most sketchy of them. So I think my options are either Anger or Bailoff. I am at 8, and I don't think that my opponent can kill me from 8 just with 1 card left in hand. So I think I'm going to just play a second Anger, and I'm gonna play Valakut tapped. And next turn I can play Bailoff, and that I think should stabilize for me. Holy shit. My opponent has so much gas. So here I'm going to get a second basic forest. And play Bailoff. And I'm going to stabilize at 6. I died to exactly Goblin Grenade off the top, but nothing I can do about that anyway, so. And if I'm my opponent, I think I need to like actually chump attack here in order to leave Goblin Grenade as an out. What I think they're going to do is they're going to attack anyway, because they want to deal me 3 damage, so Bolt is an out now. And I sided out my second Bailoff, is that correct? And I'm really, really sad right now. So I can Primeval Titan this turn, but I only have 2 mountains. Okay, so I need to dodge. I can have swapped my opponent's board, so I need to dodge. This is rough. I need to dodge basically. I need to dodge a Lightning Bolt. I need to dodge Goblin Grenade. And I think any haste dude it's fine. No, Reckless Bushwhacker is fine, but Goblin Bushwhacker also kills me. And I think everything else is covered with this. If my opponent draws anything else, I think I win. But if my opponent draws any of those cards, I lose. Not much I can do anyway. It's really unfortunate that we actually got into this scenario right here. Come on, opponent, you need to draw another land. Give me another land. Give me another land. Of course, if my opponent does not win here, we are the ones that are gonna win. Firebrand. This is fine. Okay, I think we win. I think we're gonna win. Okay. So this blocks here, this blocks here. Go down to 1. And this does it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not gonna slow roll my opponent. So what I'm gonna get here is I'm gonna get 2 Valakuts, and the primetime attack trigger will get 2 mountains, and each one of those mountains is gonna have 3 Valakut triggers, making it 6 Valakut triggers, making it 18 damage. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have 4 mountains already. Attack, yes. Mountain, mountain. Alright. We beat 8 whack. That's a lot of Ulamog triggers that are showing up right there. That's really funny. Gonna kill their Bushwhacker for good measure. Always yes, always yes, always yes, always yield. F6. We got there. That was actually pretty impressive. Like, my opponent had a lot of staying power. I swiped their board like 3 times or something. I swiped their board like 3 times that game. What was it? It was 1 anger. No, it was just 2 times. And then I resolved an obstinate Bailoff. Maybe I'm always forced to keep that Bailoff. I'll keep this hand. This hand has some early interaction. my opponent's on the play, so I get to see, you know, whether I should spend my first turn either keep holding up this interaction or playing a tap land. My opponent seems to be on some kind of control deck, and they mulligan to 4. It's a tough break for them. There's no need for me to expose my Valakut yet. Hallowed Fountain. So, yeah, my opponent is on a Celestial Conodite deck. Drawing second bolt is not good there. So that is a little bit unfortunate. I think I want to play Trivelder this turn. Trivelder can get in a couple of chip shots here and there. And people don't play Snare really anymore. So I think I should be fine. But yes, this Trivelder should start getting in there for 1, 2, 3 damage. One at a time. And my opponent, I think, will need to eventually tap out for something. Steve, get in there. So here, the matchup from Scape Shift against Blue-White is usually pretty miserable. But this list actually has a bunch of things that you can do to play around their stuff, basically, which enables. Here I'm protecting my Valakut. That's why I did that. I guess I get punished if my opponent taps out for something on their turn, and I could just untap and slam a prime time. But maybe I made a mistake there. And it was better to like expose the Valakut, but just, you know, if my opponent wants to tap out for Jace here, they get severely punished. I guess they cannot tap out for Jace anyway, so. Start here. I don't want to play around Mana Leak. If my opponent wants to Mana Leak this, I'm actually really happy, because it opens the door for my prime time. Okay, so now every land is gonna represent 3 damage. So every path my opponent uses is gonna be 3 damage. Every land that I keep in play, especially shock lands, are very, very valuable when you have Valakut in play. Is my opponent gonna try to raise here? I could bolt this Snapcaster if I want to, but I just don't want to. I want to see if my opponent attacks. If my opponent attacks, I'm actually really happy. They put a card on the bottom from Opt, by the way. Field of Ruin. Okay, that's not good for me. I mean, I guess it's fine. It's whatever. And one important thing to note that I sometimes see some Scape Shift players make the mistake of doing is you never ever want to have more than 5 mountains in play if you do not have an active Valakut. What I mean by this is I'm going to save this Farseek until it, you know, if my opponent is going to Field of Ruin me, I want to save this Farseek until I find another Valakut, or if my opponent Field of Ruins me and kills my Valakut, for example, I am actually going to go get a basic forest. Because I do not want to have more than the amount of mountains that I already have in play. So if I force the issue, meaning I cast Farseek, this is 3 damage, down to 13. This is 3 damage, down to 10. Do I play around Cryptic Command is my question, basically. I think I wait. My opponent is going to field me end of turn. And I'm going to let it go. Go get a basic forest. 1, 2, 3, 7 mana total. More Field of Ruins. I mean, this Tribe Elder's gonna still get in there. As long as I'm not forced to do anything, I'm not going to... Oh, okay. So this is huge. Whenever my opponent taps out, they are dead. That's basically how this works. If my opponent happens to make the mistake of tapping out, they are dead. And the best part of one of my favorite things to do is, you know, I have a Summoner's Pact here, right? So I will kind of like counterspell check my opponent by playing like a Naked Through the Reach that I actually don't have a Primeval Titan for. And a lot of times it ends up getting countered, which is really funny. And then you untap and you slam a Primeval Titan. I think I'm gonna throw one bolt at their face, see what they do. Let it go. Okay, so they are holding up. So I guess they have Cryptic plus... They have Cryptic plus Vendilion Click, so this is pretty unfortunate actually. I'm kind of forced into doing this, and I kind of didn't want to. Whoa! Okay, yeah, this is over. This game is over. Go get double Balakut. And you see why I was saying that this deck actually has a much better time, you know, against control decks. These kind of play patterns, control opponents are not, you know, they are not super comfortable dealing with. When you are actually, you know, getting your things at instant speed, it can throw them a wrench, you know, and put them in an awkward spot. I mean, what are they gonna do here? They are literally dead on board right now, but I'm not the one that is forced to make the first move. Right? They are the ones that are forced to do something, but they are like literally dead on board because I have like one mountain here and I have one mountain that the Tribe Elder is representing. Yep, they just died. This is why I say that this deck is way more fun than Scape Shift, you know? You have the possibility to do things like this. I will be right back. Okay, so sideboarding against blue-white is pretty straightforward. I basically side out my stuff that is not too great, and I bring in my things that are great. So it's pretty straightforward. Put this over there. I'm not in love with Bolt, but Bolt can sometimes, attack a Planeswalker or stuff like that. A Dumping Sphere is definitely not worth it, like, at all. I do not want my... I don't think Bailoffs are great. They are very easy for my opponent to answer. Maybe they are better than Bolts. So maybe we can do like a split like this. But I do not want to braids. I want Rexage because sometimes killing Damping Sphere, Detention Sphere, it's pretty important. And they can have like Search for Ascanta, things like that. But I don't think it's worth an Engineer Explosives, you know? If I get to like tag an Ascanta, that's great. If I don't, it's fine. I'm not gonna be desperate about that. Again, the key of our game... Oops, I need to hit to mid quick. The most important thing about our game plan is going to be the flexibility of Through the Reach. Okay, cool. So my sideboard indeed goes through. This is not the best hand, but I think I'll keep it. And of note, all those turns that I was like swinging for one at my opponent with my stupid Trivelder, they actually made it so in that very last turn that we played, I was actually, I had lethal on board already, So those are the things, the Trivelder beats are surprisingly important in this kind of matchup. And your opponent will, like, they always really struggle to trade with a Trivelder for obvious reasons, right? It just feels awful to trade with a card that will that will get me value. Here I'm going to try to sandbag Valakut. Post board, sandbagging Valakut is even more important because of Surgical Extraction. I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure my opponent has Surgical in their deck, but they might very well have Surgical in their deck. So I want to definitely be careful. Play another Colonnade. Okay. Cast Search for Tomorrow. Nothing. Here I'm going to get mountains. Since I already have a... So I'm basically getting mountains until I start getting forests because I already have 5 mountains in play. Like I was saying earlier, you never want to have more than 5 mountains in play. I think here I'm going to play Baloth, I guess. My opponent counters it, I don't really care. If my opponent deals with it, I don't really care either. So this is just a fine card to throw into counter magic. My opponent feels happy that they did it. I'm happy that they did it. Everybody's happy. Jace, search for Ascant. Okay. Swing. I guess I'm gonna play these Elder into another counter spell. Okay. Here I don't want to miss my land drop, so I am actually going to play the Valakut. But yeah, my opponent's only way to answer this is going to be just Path or like a Wrath. Like, are they gonna condemn my Trivelder? I mean, what is this, right? Okay, that is actually troublesome, and this is something that I might be interested. I guess I might want to bring in. I might still want to bring in the explosives because of Ruined Halo. In the meantime, I'm going to still get in there. Play a second Valakut, Now I really want to get them out of my hand, so it's surgical again does not tag me super hard. And it's important to understand how Rune Halo works. Rune Halo is going to protect my opponent from Valakat, but these Valakats are still going to be able to deal with Colonnades, they're going to be able to deal with Vendilion clicks, and they are going to be able to deal with Planeswalkers. My opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. That's going to be 3 with the opt, 4 with the draw step. I think I'm gonna bolt the snap here. Nah, I'm not gonna bolt the snap. Bolt can go face, and just my Valakuts can eventually answer the Snapcaster whenever I want to. Wow, they ditch a Jace. So that makes me think that A, they have another Jace in hand, or B, they really want to flip their search for Azcanta. In the meantime, gonna keep hitting my land drops. And now every Tribe Scout, okay, that's not bad. Also, because now if my opponent ever taps out, I can... If my opponent taps out, I think I'm going to breach a Woodfall Primus. So if my opponent ever taps out, they're gonna be in serious trouble. This is pretty hilarious. Also, again, Steve beats are making it so now sacking both of my Steves represents 12 damage to their face. No, there's no need for me here to do that, which is really unfortunate. There we go. Summoner's Pact. You gonna counter this one, opponent? No, you're not. Through the reach. I guess they're gonna counter this one. Mana Leak. Negate. Okay. Okay, they had it. It's fine. I guess you're gonna take my Primus now. But now their clock goes down to 0 because of this Cinderglade. Wow. I love that this happened actually twice. Kill this. Kill this. Steve, get in there. Steve OP. Steve is doing so much work, it's absurd. This is so hilarious. There's something about Steve beats that really amuses me. It's just really funny. Good call, actually. Good call. That's a good call. It's a bad habit that I can sometimes have. Dude, Steve is so hardcore. Steve is so hardcore. And now it's actually funny that my opponent took the Bolt instead of the Primus. And now I just literally drew a Bolt from the from the click itself. It's really funny how that literally happened in back-to-back games. So I'm gonna hold this. All right, Steve, get in there. Yep, yep. Path your Steve. Path your Steve. Again, I don't want to have extra more than the mountains that I already have, so that's why I'm fetching a basic forest. Our best draw here, I guess, is through the bridge. Ooh, Gaia's Revenge would be the nuts too. Gaia's Revenge would be the nuts. And you can see why I cited out the Simian Spirit Guides. It's just the games against control go so long that I just don't want to. I don't want to draw a gray over. The Fairy Hero of Dominaria. Yeah, that guy is gonna die to Valaka triggers. I guess it's gonna draw them a card. They're gonna field first. They're gonna field first. Okay. Get a forest again, not getting a. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9. So I have 9 mana. Primus costs 8. I assume that my opponent will plus this Teferi. The question is. I don't think I can play around Mana Leak, and I cannot play around Logic Knot. So I think I'm just gonna jam the Primus, and it's not really any value in me sacking Steve right now. I guess I could play this before. Alright. Do you have the Mana Leak? They do have the fucking Mana Leak. So I guess that's the reason why I should have fetched with Steve last turn. If I draw exactly on tap land, I'm able to play around Mana Leak. That sucks. Okay, now I'm going to put my opponent to 9. And I kinda have to. I have to kill Teferi, but I don't want to be using this lightning bolt. Yeah, that was probably a mistake right there. I think I win the game if I happen to resolve that Primus right there. That was probably a mistake then. I should have fetched with. I should have fetched with Steve at my end of turn. Jace. Okay. They plus. Okay. Okay, we'll see what they do. They are really tanking on this. Being ahead on clock is cool. Okay, so whatever card it was, they bottomed it. Give me a Primeval Titan. Farsic. I think I'm going to suspend the search. Mostly because it's going to prevent my opponent from doing like stupid Jace things. Like if my opponent tops a card, it just gives me the out to, you know, mess around with it. Okay. They bottom the card, so I'm going to shuffle, but I'm not going to get any of these mountains. I think those mountains have more value inside my deck rather than in play. So many Fields of Ruins. They left the card on top. But you see what this is gonna do is this is gonna basically give me a draw step to draw something. Now my opponent's gonna activate Iskanta, and this might be a little bit too much now. If they start finding like cryptic commands, logic node at this point is a hard counter. Opt is fine. I mean, it's not great. It's just card advantage for them, but it could be worse. Yeah, I guess I was trying to find a reason to fetch with my scout at the end of my opponent's turn, and I failed to see that if I drew exactly an untapped land, holy crap, it's a miracle. Holy crap, it's a miracle. They should make just 3 angels. There's no need for them to do more. It's good to know that my opponent is on the the miracles list. And since they're on the miracle list, like explosives is looking even better right now. So this is what I was trying to do. Okay, now my opponent's gonna top a card, or even if they bottom, it doesn't matter because in my upkeep, Search for Tomorrow will come up, and I mean, I guess they can counter the Search for Tomorrow, and we don't have another draw step after this because we just died to Angel Beats. So I guess my opponent can just counter this, right? And they know what I'm drawing. I guess I'll fetch because it's my last turn, and I drew a Stomping Ground. Not good enough. But well, considering the situation that I was in, I think I gave myself the best out. And now my opponent's angels are gonna finish me. Okay, so my opponent showed me both Rune Halo, Entreat the Angels, Search for Ascanta. I think I'm actually interested in Engineered Explosives. Probably over this Bolt. They did not show me any artifacts that I might want to get rid of, so a Braid does not look good. Bailoff actually does not look good either. It might be better than a Bolt. Okay. Submit this. What I really want to see is that Gaia's Revenge. That Gaia's Revenge would have been really good in that game in multiple occasions. Yeah, this hand is pretty good. I'm going to lead on Valakut here, actually. My opponent does not seem to be playing any kind of 1 mana counter spell something? They do not. Okay, that was a good draw. Because of that draw, I think I am going to fetch for a basic mountain here. The reason for that is this gives me the option later to turn these, you know, to fetch another basic with this and then make this Cinderglade come into play untapped. Please search for Rascanta. Yes! Okay, that was excellent for us. That was absolutely amazing for us. No value for you. Now what? I already have an answer to Rune Halo here, which is pretty good. There is the Rune Halo. They name Valakut, and I think I'm gonna use this chance to basically play explosives on 2 using 2 colors, but actually play explosives on 2. You see? The reason for doing this is that I want to play around, this plays around Spell Snare, and it also plays around, what's his name, Spell Pierce, so that I am able to play around both by doing this. And because I don't want to get blown out, I think I am going to go fetch basic mountain here. Basic mountain. Because I don't want my opponent, you know, being able to like destroy this with like disenchant or whatever, you know, in response to me fetching. And here I am going to pop it. Deal with this Rune Halo once and for all. It's gone. And now we are pretty damn far ahead. My opponent lost the land drop. They just basically cannot. And at the end of my opponent's turn, I'm going to slam this through the breach. And if my opponent can counter it, and if they do, they're probably going to be tapped out. And then with my opponent tapped out, I untap and I slam a Primeval Titan, and that should give us the game. So, end of turn. Through the breach. Dispel. Huh, I guess that one's pretty good. I guess the beats go on. Because I kind of really want to play around Mana Leak. My opponent is really struggling on mana, so I don't want to, you know, make their Mana Leaks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I was kind of hoping that my opponent would use a negate on my breach. Them using the spell is actually pretty good for them because it allowed them to still have mana open. Now they use the negate. Okay. Okay, still not in a bad spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 mountains in play here. Ghost Quarter is actually... them drawing Ghost Quarter is good for me. Because Ghost Quarter forces them to get behind on 1 land drop. The problem is that that enables... that's an amazing drop. Yep. So I was gonna say that that enables... what's his name? That enables Surgical. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, my opponent is dead. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna breach in a Primeval Titan. Yes. And I can go get Valakut plus Mountain. And then both of these fetch lands over here are going to represent 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, both of these fetches are going to represent 6 damage each. That's 6. Always yes, always yes, always yield. And this is 6 more right here. Face, face. And that's how you beat blue-white control. Just draw all your Through the Breaches at your Primeval Titans and you're fine. Okay, 2 and 2. Whoops, totally forgot to update the record text earlier. But there we go. 2 and 2, beating blue-white control. The good thing about playing this deck is that leagues actually go by much faster than with something like Amulet. Amulet leagues can go for really long. Usually breach leagues kind of happen. Sir Nars Barkley. We can breach a Primus on turn 3. That seems like a fun thing to be doing. Against Tron. Alright, this is the kind of draws that we want against Tron. I guess they have turn 3 Tron, so nothing matters. Turn 3 Tron, so nothing matters. It's so annoying when it's the natural Tron too. There it is. Ugh, mismatching, dude. Worm Coil. Yes! That's the most beatable of them all. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I am going to breach. I think I am kind of forced to reach a Primeval Titan here. So I play Valakut. Yeah, because I actually need the extra land drops. So I cannot just like breach if Primus and kill 2 lands, because then I don't have enough mana to keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach a Prime Time, which will get me up to 8 mana. And then even if my opponent Ulamogs next turn, I can still play another Primeval Titan and attack for lethal. So I guess that's gonna... And I mean, Valakut for lethal is what I mean. Yes. And I'm going to get... the damage doesn't matter, so I'm gonna get Cinderglade. Here. And I'm gonna get Stomping Grounds on the attack trigger. Because I want to make sure that I have a bunch of green sources. This is also pretty nice because I don't need to pay for Pact on my next turn. And with the attack trigger, I'm going to send 2 at their face and 2 at the Worm Coil, because I don't want them gaining the life. Always yes, always yes, always yield. Okay. Don't Ulamog me, bro, please. Don't Ulamog me. Okay, this is still not good news. They can still Ulamog me from here. Okay, they cannot Ulamog me anymore. Cool. So they're gonna go up to 11 now. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I have very much enough. very much to face them for 1,000,000. Yes. They later resolve, so now even if they, I'm gonna get double Balakut, and even if they go squatter me, I can still go get another mountain, and they still die, so it's fine. Go squatter, that's nothing. Alright, turn 4 kill through double Wormcoil Engine. Yep. It is fine. Later resolve. Get a mountain. Shoot you for 3. Yeah. Okay, Tron again, and there you see the power of Simian Spirit Guide, right? If I did not have like double Simian Spirit Guide, actually my opponent had the natural Tron and they have a bunch of things to do. So I think I actually lose that game if it hadn't been for double Simian Spirit Guide. Both sweepers out. And I think it was a lightning bolt what I took out last time. That's what makes sense, at least. All right, let's see if we get revenge against the Tron Menace. This hand looks okay. Little bit on the slow side. Maybe we'll get punished for it. So we can turn 1 Farseek if we want to. Does that do anything? We turn on Farseek, we untap with 2-3 mana. I don't think it changes anything, so I'm just going to do this. And I don't care about taking damage here, I just care about having max amount of mountains possible. They just have this second Tron piece, and they have the expedition map, okay. So they're going to have turn 3 Tron. Maybe they... I think I'm gonna play the scout here. So if I untap and I draw exactly through the breach, we can breach next turn. Okay, so they're not gonna be able to use Tron this turn, so that's good for us. But they're gonna be able to use Tron next turn. And I assume they're going to go get an extra... Damping Sphere would be the nuts. So Through the Breach is literally my only... Oh no, Through the Breach and Simian Spirit Guide, that's 2. So I think it's worth for me to risk it and sack Tribe Elder here. And we did not get there. F3. Farseek. Stomping Ground. Play a Stomping Ground and pass the turn. So then my opponent Ulamogs me. We are pretty dead, but we can beat a Karn. We can definitely beat a Wormcoil just like we did the previous game. Another expedition map. I imagine they're gonna get another tower here. No, go squatter. Okay, that's fine. I don't care about that one. Thought not. That one I care about kind of like a lot. That one I care about quite a bit. Go squatter. Yeah, I don't think I can. Whoops, turn off. Alright. Yes. Go get a forest. And here I am going to... Oh, they have the surgical too? Oh, they have it all. Must be nice. Must be nice. We're still not dead. We can still like ramp into Primus, I guess. But yeah, my opponent just had it all this game, and it's not looking great. So that there's no reason for me to hold up. So I actually want to thin my deck from mountains. I actually want to get the mountains out of my deck, because now they don't do anything. Yeah, they exiled every single one of my Valakuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Guess I'll cast. I have enough mana to hardcast Primus next turn. I mean, I cannot hardcast Primus through a Karn, so there's that. But okay, Worm Coil. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. I guess that's something. I guess they did fetch for the mine, I think. I don't think it's very likely that we win here still. Hey, look at that. We actually got the correct one. I don't think it's particularly likely that we win here, but you know, might as well keep playing it, right? Oblivion Stone. Ooh, okay. Trade here. They have another surgical. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That one's pretty funny actually. That one was pretty sweet. So I guess I want to draw. Ancient Grudge would have been good. That is definitely not Ancient Grudge. For 10, my opponent's swinging it for 10 here. Okay. Yep, they got me. Okay. Yeah, Tron is... Yeah. I don't think I need to say anything about Tron, really. Okay, my opponent is actually quite heavy on the whole fucking... Thought Knot and stuff like that, so maybe I want the trackers, actually. At least over one bolt. Probably over both bolts. My opponent having surgical is what's kind of forcing me into this. Maybe I should actually, as weird as it sounds, maybe I should actually bring in Relic solely to play around surgical, but maybe that's a little bit too much. Okay, this is not a bad hand at all, actually. My opponent mulligan? How lucky can a person be? So they put a card on the bottom. So maybe they only mulligan into like turn 4 Tron instead of turn 3. Okay. Okay. There's no need for me to sack Elder here if I don't have to. Elder can provide some beats. No second land? Yes, second land. Okay, they do have the second land. Okay, so here we actually see like why I, you know, kind of like Tracker here. It's gonna come down on turn 3, and it's gonna kind of, you know, find my opponent with their pants down, and it's gonna start accruing some value, and it's gonna start delivering some beats too. On my next turn though, I'm definitely... Maybe actually it was better to cast a Farseek there, in order to guarantee that I have prime time on the following turn. Yeah, maybe I got like a little bit too excited about the tracker and I made a mistake there. It's quite possible. I am for sure sacking the scout though, the elder, I mean. Now they have Tron. Sphere. Sack sphere. Nothing, okay. I'm actually gonna get a basic forest here. I want double green in case I need to do something. Cool, okay, so that's awesome. I guess if my opponent has natural Tron, they can play Stone and Crack on the same turn. But if they do that, at least I resolve my Primeval Titan. And I start the next turn with double Valakut in play. To be fair, I was a little bit lucky to have drawn an untapped land there, since my opponent conceded. Woo! Alright, now what's kind of like a classic of this stream, 0-2 into 3-2. I think this has happened like for the past 3 or 4 leagues that I played, or close enough. Yeah, so beating Tron feels real good, because Tron sucks, and I hate Tron. Kinda hate it because it's just good, but I don't want to accept the fact that Tron is actually good. But yeah, we saved it, we got there, we got some sick pity chest, and we didn't lose our play points from going into the league, so that's awesome. We got destroyed by Naya Burn and Tron on the first two matches, and then we played against Adwak, Blue-White Control, and Mono-Green Tron again, beating those 3. Particularly, I think the Blue-White matchup was pretty sweet and allowed us to see kind of like the reason for playing a deck like this instead of playing just Scapeshift. Scapeshift is just a little bit too linear, like a little bit too just monotonous for me, and it's not really something that I really enjoy as much. But yeah, I just wanted to show off the deck a little bit and show it to everybody that, you know, there's different alternative shells for primetime out there, and this is a pretty sweet one. So this is gonna be a short stream, basically because I want to leave, you know, like a second league midway, and I actually will have to... Exactly, Scapeshift just wins, it doesn't do any sweet shit. So this is gonna be a short stream. I don't think I will be back tomorrow. I will actually probably tomorrow I can try to stream from my parents' house. I will give it a shot, but I will probably stream later if I do, because I have to, you know, during the morning I have to actually make the drive over there to San Diego, so of course I won't be available to stream. But yeah, basically I have a lesson at 2 p.m. and I don't want to, you know, just stop mid-stream. What we can do though is we can probably like play some 2-mans if you guys want, and we can try some different things that I've been messing around with. I've really been enjoying this, for example. This is basically Todd Stevens' value town list, but there's this guy called Wegho on Magic Online. I don't know what that stands for, but he always does really well with this list, which is pretty sweet. It's pretty much like the same Todd Stevens Value Town list, but it's a little bit less nonsensical. Like he's not playing like Avacyn and all those, you know, some things that are kind of like Todd's pet cards that are not really particularly any good. But this list actually looks pretty nice. I like the bog in the board to be able to interact against graveyard strategies with an untapped knight. That's pretty sweet, and I like the, you know, the split between Field, Ghost Quarter, and Tech Edge. I think Tech Edge is really good right now. So it's that part is pretty awesome. So this is one. The other one would be this right here. Whoops, not that one. Definitely not that one. This one right here. So this is just mono white Death and Taxes in Legacy, but the sweet thing that it has is that I'm trying out a couple of Bright Leans. This card looks absolutely insane in this deck. It feels like you can do a lot of things, and you know, there's not any card that is as flexible as this one in the deck. And like having Ethervile on 3 and a Brightling with some like untapped mana and shit is just unstoppable. It's pretty absurd, the kind of things that you just cannot kill it. It's just unkillable. Just bounce it, you replay it again, attack the next turn, you can rebounce it again. So it's very, very interesting. So those are the options. I think I can try 1 2-man with Brightling DNT. Again, I don't want to start a league and, you know, just have to like stop midway. It just doesn't feel like good times. So actually there's somebody just waiting for us over there. Sounds great. So let's try this out. I have actually not played against... I have not played the deck yet. So we'll see how it is. Turn 2, Thalia / Stoneforge into turn 3 Crusader. Okay. Ancient Tomb. Is this the Bloodborne deck? Ruby Medallion. Oh no, this is the Storm deck. So I guess I'm playing Thalia next turn. So this is like a mono red Storm deck that is actually pretty interesting. I wonder why they played a lot of Spell on turn 1. Rite of Flame. They play like Wheel of Fortune. What's the Wheel of Fortune name? I can't remember the name of the Wheel of Fortune, but they play that. It's pretty sweet. Shuffle your library, then exile the top 4. You may cast a number of become flavorless. The operator Marcos allows you control don't untap during your next untap step. Okay. So what do they find? Overmaster, Burning Wish, Act on Impulse. Wow, they actually did really good with that. So there it is. That's basically like a 5 mana Wheel of Fortune. 4 mana, I guess, because 1 less because of the medallion. Act on Impulse. What did they exile? Grape Shot, Helm of Awakening. So this is basically like a draw 3 for the turn, right? Yep. So they actually have to, like, legit. Wow, this is the honest gamble right there. I guess not so honest. They looked for Past in Flames. And they still have this stuff that they can do. Holy crap. Reforge the Soul is in their hand. They are going off hard. They exiled. Oh, just 2 mana Morphos and 2 lands. They cannot play lands of this? Maybe I'm crazy, but this looks kind of not great. We'll see. I mean, I'm dead. Just Scripture for 20. Awesome. That was pretty sick, actually. I'm gonna give it to my opponent. That was interesting. That was fun to watch. Anyway, so that happened. So we'll see what we can do. Rest in Peace seems pretty good against my opponent. Spirit of the Labyrinth seems really good. Relic Warder seems really good. Sanctum Prolite seems like game over. Yep, that was like the glassest of cannons. No questions there. Remorseful Cleric actually looks pretty good. Mother of Runes, Swords, it's probably like a blank. What is this? Pro red and pro white. So I gain a life for each card in my hand and they lose a life for the amount of cards in their hand. Yeah. Revoker seems really good. It can name Lotus Petal. I did not see any Lionside Diamond or stuff like that, but naming Lotus Petal seems like it's a pretty big deal. Jite looks awful. Oh, Surgical. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Surgical. I can probably side out one Stoneforge. This seems like the best equipment. Batterskull seems like insanely expensive and very slow. Anything else we might want? This seems to be pretty good here. Okay. So we're basically we are very interested in drawing like a Thalia and playing it on turn 2, or like a, I guess Relic Warder is gonna be pretty disruptive for them. Yeah, this set is pretty great. Basic planes into Mom. I mean, if I get turn 1, I get turn 1, but turn 2 Rest in Peace seems like it's gonna be pretty good against my opponent's deck. I cannot beat Empty the Warrens though, so that's important to note. Rip. And I think Mom is just gonna get in there here. I mean, it's not protecting anybody, so they're gonna go off here. Burning Wish for dun 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 gamble. Burning Wishing for gamble. Wasteland is actually not doing much here, but I think next turn. Okay, never mind. I was going to say next turn I'm going to like Relic Warder my opponent's Lotus Petal. Oh, they gambled. Well, that's the honest gamble right there. My opponent gambled for Wear and Tear, and they actually didn't get there. So I think I want to get the clock going here. Again, Mom is gonna get there. Whenever I play the Relic Warder, I think I'm actually going to keep Mom. Yeah, okay. Now I am actually going to hold Mom. Okay. So we... Nope. We play Relic Warder first. Get that. Yes. Now we actually get to play Ethervile. And from now on, I am actually going to hold up Mom to protect my Relic Warder. It's my opponent's exile pile, by the way. Ugh. Overmaster. The next instant or social spell you cast this turn can be countered. You got it. Lotus Petal. Okay. So I guess they have to like mini grape shot me. But that is fine. Oh, they are not going to. Okay. Okay, so just 4 cards left in hand. Guess we play another Wasteland. Would be nice if any of these were ports, because you know we could actually use them or stuff, but it's fine. The question is, do I want to put more pressure here? Flicker Wizard does not change the clock. Even if I attack all with Mom and everything, it's still going to be one damage short, so I think I'd rather hold the Flicker Wisp until it might be, doing some damage. Or maybe I made a mistake. Yes, so what I could have done is I could have Flicker Wisp, my own Flicker Wisp, so then Flicker Wisp exiles the Lotus Petal from them, which I guess takes them off single mana. Yep, and maybe I get punished but for not doing that. Okay, so they can cast Manamorphose or Act on Impulse. They're gonna cast them both. Yeah, I could have prevented my opponent from having one extra mana. That's unfortunate. Basically, I gave them like one chance of doing something that they should not have. Where are those Rite of Flames coming from? Grape Shot for... yeah, so this is not gonna be enough. They just Grape Shot for 11. I just protect my Warder. Are they all coming at my face? If they're all coming at me... yeah, it seems like they're all coming at me. Okay, and actually it wouldn't have changed anything. It wouldn't have really changed anything. So now I am actually going to play to do the play that I just talked about. I'm going to bring this up, and now we attack for 5. Boom, boom. And I'm going to make the play that I just talked about, where I Wisp. Oh, this works for everybody? Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to Wisp, exile my Wisp, end of turn, the other Wisp will come back, and I will exile their Helm of whatever. Alright, interesting. So my opponent is basically playing like a different version of Belcher. At least Belcher literally looks like a cannon, which is always really funny to me. It's like the ultimate glass cannon. Huh. What do I want to change? I don't think I want to change anything. Guess I'll just submit the same thing. Prelate, I wonder what's the best thing for Prelate is. I think 2 is the best number for Prelate. Keep. Turn 1 Vial into turn 2 Port. Seems like it could do some damage. And then I start developing my mana through Aether Vial. And I have the Brightling as clock and the Warder as interaction. So it's healed, and I will plus for this time. So put a stop on my opponent's upkeep. Upkeep, port U. Yep, that's fine. They are doing this in draw step, and they showed me that most of their deck plays at sorcery speed, so I'm not really concerned about them doing, you know, this in their upkeep. Maybe they thought I was doing that on their main phase. So Mom comes in. I am wondering... yes, I am wondering if this is actually worth wardering. I think I want to disrupt my opponent the most that I can. So I'm actually going to do this. And then next turn I can actually reset the Relic Warder if I want to. By using Flicker Wisp to link it. Now I again upkeep port my opponent. So this is gonna be the name of the game. Just like slowly but surely, like consistently bother my opponent and make them be unable to go off to the best of my abilities. Try to stop them as much as I can from going off. So it's gonna be like a mana here, like another mana there, things like that. If my opponent decides to go for some kind of like empty the warrings thing here, I think I'm still fine because Brightling is going to gain me. Yeah, so now that my opponent has Ruby Medallion, I actually want to reset my Warder, actually exiling the Medallion instead of the Lotus Petal that I have right here, because this is of course going to be better for them. Okay. So here I'm going to go up to 3. Wasteland is not an amazing draw. I guess it's more mana for Blightling purposes. And I think I swing for 3 here. And now I play the Wisp. Yes, Wisp. Exile the Warder, which will bring back the Petal, but now the Warder will come back, and I will steal the Medallion. Now an upkeep, port U. Seething Song. Reforge the Soul. Okay. Not much I can do here. Okay, if I make it to next turn, I think I just win. I get like both Remorseful Cleric and Rest in Peace, but I need to make it till next turn. Okay, cool. So we made it. Now let's choose my sequencing. All spells cost 1 less to cast. My opponent has Past in Flames in the yard already. So, do I want to... I think I definitely want to play Thalia. But I'm trying to figure out whether I want to play Rest in Peace first. I think I do. This is kind of like Rest in Peace on a stick, so maybe playing this guy is better. But I'm not entirely sure. I can only play 2 2-drops. What can Recruiter get to? Recruiter can get... Recruiter can get the Revoker, so I guess I'm going to Recruiter first. Yes. And now I'm going to get Revoker. I guess Revoker is gonna name... What can I even name with Revoker? Like Lotus Petal or something? Lotus Petal. There it is. Then I want to play either Remorseful Cleric or now I think I want to play Thalia and Remorseful Cleric. Coming in for 5. And I cannot deal with this helm, which is really annoying. So I am going to play Thalia, Remorseful Cleric. And on my opponent's upkeep, I'm going to tap one of their mountains. And this is the hardest that I can strangle them, I guess. This is the best that I can do here. They don't have any Rite of Flame in there, so the first one is fine. There's no need for me to activate this guy yet. If they peef here, okay, this is still fine. They're not still, you know, getting ahead on mana. They're just drawing a card, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to also play Spirit of the Labyrinth. But I think Thalia is better disruption. It's actually quite unfortunate that I only have 2 white sources here. If I had had one more white source, I would have definitely played the Spirit as well as these 2 guys. Why is Cleric better than Rep? Because Cleric is actually a 2-1. If I am not forced to crack him, like I am not forced to crack him here, this guy actually beats for lethal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If my opponent deals with any of my dudes, this is an extra 2 damage if I happen to need it. I was kind of like trying to play around them having something like Empty the Warrens or whatever. So even if my opponent has Empty the Warrens, I have like a 2-turn flying clock that they cannot really stop. Swing everything and win. All right, that was a fun game, fun match, I guess. Mono Red Storm, huh? I really appreciate my opponent. It looks like my opponent really cares. You see, all like his mountains are nice. All of his cards actually look really nice. I respect that. Easy clap. Just a 1. We can probably do another one. Let's do another one real quick. This is gonna be the last one. This is gonna be the last one that I'm gonna play today. Okay. Give my opponent the good luck, and let's see what they have to offer. Actually, well, my opponent thinks I'm going to get some food in the oven. Okay. So I just put the lasagna in the oven, and I get to come here and mulligan this hand. No white source, no other vial. This looks way better. Wasteland can be awesome or it can be terrible. I guess I'll keep it on top. I wouldn't be hitting my land drops and yeah. Oh. Forget about that upkeep stop. If my opponent is some miracles, then yes, Wasteland is not looking too great. Basic planes, go. Aether Vial is usually the most important card in this kind of matchup. I guess my opponent could also be on Storm. They could be on Sneak and Show. They could be on that's okay, so now it's either Sneak and Show or I mean it's still the same it's still the same decks. But it's much less likely that it's actually Storm here. I'm not gonna play Thalia yet because I think it's pretty necessary for me to be able to hold up Caracas. So I'm gonna play the Stoneforge as kind of like a bait, I guess. See what my opponent does. Maybe they will show me something like Days or something like that, you know. Okay, Stoneforge resolved. And I will get Sword of Fire and Ice and pass the turn. If my opponent is on Sneak and Show, then it's actually pretty fortunate that I managed to draw my Caracas here. Come in for one. Okay. And now I'll actually play the Caracas and play the Thalia. At this point, I am thinking more about miracles rather than anything else. But this is pretty good because if my opponent has a Terminus here or something, it doesn't matter. Yeah. This long stop in the draw step kind of makes me think that my opponent drew a Terminus there. But if my opponent, yeah. So my opponent is 100% of miracles. And we played it beautifully. Because now this Thalia is just going to bounce back to my hand. And that's going to be it. My opponent basically has... It's not even a 1-for-1. Because this Stoneforge actually drew a card. So yes, I'm very much okay with this Terminus. Stoneforge in the bottom. Ooh, miss land drop. Alright. Play Thalia. Sorry, excuse me for that. Play Thalia and play Mom. Then pass the turn. So we'd better settle in because this game is gonna go long. It's nice that we're already a minute plus ahead of my opponent. Thalia looking really good on this board. Thalia looking really good. My opponent missing more land drops. Yeesh. Play my land. Attack with my Thalia. So now I can even like play some other stuff. Or what I'm interested in doing, I think, is just play the sword here. See what my opponent does. And if they don't deal with this word, you know, yeah, they are actually forced to use the force here. Yeah. So that's cool. That is cool. Mom is basically Source to Plowshare's protection. My opponent cannot cast Jace, and even if my opponent casts Jace, I have 2 pseudo answers to Jace in hand already. I think next turn I'm actually going to be playing the Recruiter. You know, just be able to play even another body that is gonna get me some value, just like the Stoneforge did earlier. Snapcaster is fine. Snapcaster Preordain. It would definitely be very nice if any of if these lands were a port or something like that. That would for sure be appreciated. My opponent bottom 2 cards. They're quite desperately looking for a land. Redundant Talia is not the best thing. Do I want to play the Spirit here? My opponent double bottomed. I think I'm actually going to play the Spirit here. Just prevent my opponent from drawing more cards. This cannot be countered, of course. And again, holding up Caracas. There's no need for me to lose this Thalia, even though I have another one. There's really not much of a need for me to use this Thalia. And you know, then the Recruiter can go get a Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp blinks Recruiter, and we start grinding value that way, while my opponent's life total keeps dwindling more and more. Jace here is somewhat annoying, I think, but I mean Jace is basically forced into explosives on 2. Okay. So I can attack here. I attack, my opponent trades, I let the trade happen. And then I guess I can start with Revoker then. If I start with Revoker, I force my opponent to make their play right now. Because otherwise I just name explosives and they cannot activate it anymore. And if my opponent doesn't do anything here, then I just attack with Thalia. But this forces the play, and if my opponent actually cracks, I can bounce Thalia and replay it. Bounce Thalia. The 1/1. Now Revoker resolves. I can name Jace the Mind Sculptor instead. And I can replay my Thalia, and I'm gonna have to make sure that I play this one. But yep, Jace the Mind Sculptor. And I can play Thalia again. My opponent counters it is fine. If my opponent doesn't, we are still playing the same, still in the same dance. I guess my opponent could have punished me by drawing exactly Terminus that turn, but if that's the case, then you know I still have another Thalia. Play Canopy. My opponent cannot flashback anything, so I think I'm going to do this. My opponent can use Ambush Viper if they want to. Looks like they are not willing to. And here I just do this. I'm willing to play a Recruiter here, mostly because it's going to get me something else. I think what I'm gonna get is just a Flicker Wisp, and next turn I can Flicker Wisp, target Recruiter, and you know, get something else and start getting value that way if I want to. fetch and upkeep. No blind Terminus, that's good for me. Hardcast Terminus. Hardcast Terminus. Alright. Thalia comes back again. And this is fine. Any order is okay. Now the question is, 1, 2, do I want to cycle this canopy? That's the question now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Do I want to go down to 5 mana? I can play 2 2-drops next turn. I think I'm gonna hold it because I think there's value in destroying my opponent's Volk. Never mind. So I am for sure then cycling canopy this end step. I'm gonna name Jace my sculptor again. My audio volume is kind of low. Okay, I can fix that. Like this. Is the volume better now? Okay. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Two mana Brainstorm. It's fine. Flooded Strand resolves. Monastery Mentor. Now that one is a little bit problematic. They ponder. Okay. I guess this allows me to freely cycle Canopy end of turn. And I can play Wisp, kill this, and bring them down to 1, I guess? They already played land this turn. So they can either trade the Mentor for my Revoker, or not, I guess. Yeah, these matchups against Miracles are always super interesting. There's always a ton of back and forth, a lot of like plays that if you make like a very slight mistake, you are just done. Cycle Canopy. That one kind of sucked, but it's fine. That one really sucked. Wisp the Monk. Waste the Tundra. Attack with all. They can trade here if they want. If they don't, they go to 1. Yeah. They just had the Terminus. Okay. Bounce Thalia once more. How many times have we played and replayed this Thalia by this point? If this is a Jace, we're in trouble now. Yeah, okay. That's rough. That's rough. Port, one of their planes, I guess. They go down to 2. Do they have another Mentor? They do have another Mentor. Bounce Thalia. Where are my swords? Would be nice to know. Where are my swords and my plowshares? Nope, just draw more basic planes. Just draw more basic planes. 'Cause my opponent really is gonna steal this one. Feels bad, man. Maybe trading for their mentor was not correct. But I feel like that mentor was going to get out of hand so quickly. I have not drawn a single swords. That blind terminus was kind of like a big deal. My opponent was able to play a blind terminus. What are the chances that my opponent doesn't have an instant spell here? Hardcast Force. Oh, counterspell. So I guess they did have an instant spell. Okay, it's starting to feel like this one slipped away. My opponent drew way more cards than us. Yet we have like more lands than them. I mean, that's the power of cantrips, right? That is the true power of cantrips. Okay. Snapcaster, Ponder. Thalia comes back up. Thought not see your trigger. Oh yeah. Miracle Eldrazi. They chose to shuffle. I don't think that's gonna change things though. Yeah, they just have too much stuff. I think I'm just sorry, going to F6 and go to the bathroom. I will be right back in less than a minute. Am I dead yet? No. Still not dead? This is an agony. Yay, more lands. Thalia is gonna have some work to do here. Thalia is gonna have some work to do right here. Wow, my opponent's so ballsy going down to 1. Oh, I did import them. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's very interesting how quickly Mentor gets out of hand, and this is why I was so concerned about killing it last in the last game. You know. Yeah, they forced my Talia. I will just take the 2 life here. Since I have another one, it just doesn't matter. I'm just dead, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm very, very dead. But I will let my opponent use their clock. That's for sure. So as I understand, I think the best possible card in this matchup is Brightling. I hear that it does a lot of heavy lifting. We saw no Brightlings, and we saw just a really absurd amount of lands. We saw no Vials either. Alright, so let's sideboard for game 2. Game 2, I don't want the swords. I want the Sword of War and Peace. I want the Spirit of the Labyrinth. I want both Council's Judgments. I want Prelates to put on 6 to prevent Terminus from happening. And I want Gideon. And I think that's it. Remorseful Cleric is kind of like, eh. Mirror Crusader is probably not great. We can probably side out a Jite. Jite is not great in this matchup either. And everything else looks pretty good. Can probably think about Relic Warder, but this just seems like a very inconsistent card. And yes, we have no like actual answers to Mentor, so our answer is just to like get under it. Honestly, I've been following. This hand is so close to being insane. That's so sad. I've been following Phil Gallagher, who is a streamer. He streams mostly Death and Taxes, and his stream is actually super awesome. He knows a lot about what he's talking about. He is a pretty. He makes a really good job at explaining himself, explaining the reasons for the decisions that he makes. I really encourage you to follow him on Twitch if you enjoy Death and Taxes content. And his handle is pretty easy to figure out. It's called Death and Taxes FTW. That's the name of his Twitch username, and I recommend you guys follow him. So here, this hand is of course very anemic, but I understand that Vial is actually super powerful in this matchup, and we have like Port, I guess, to disrupt my opponent a little bit and things like that. But maybe I'm supposed to just go to 5 here. I honestly don't know. So do I port him? I think I'm gonna port him and leave this Labyrinth as like surprise on the next turn. Okay. So I'm going to go to Upkeep. And on Upkeep, I think I'm going to actually tap the Plains now. because I don't want them to mentor me. Nice. Woo! Woohoo! Feels good, man. Feels good. Oh, brainstorm resolves. Brainstorm resolves. Draw 0 cards, put 2 cards back into your library. Feels good, man. I think I'm gonna leave the Violon 2 here. Yep, okay, so now we're just drawing too many lands, and this is not working out well for us. Not working out for us. I'm gonna leave the Violon 2 here and see what my opponent does. And here I'm actually going to tap the plains. So my opponent has to plow here. They cannot terminus. They do not have the plow. I mean, I guess they can fetch for the terminus, but this way I use 2 of their mana. Okay. Yeah, that was a nice blowout and everything, but I don't think that we're gonna win. We just drew too many lands. We literally drew only lands. I guess we drew this Revoker. No, we drew 2 spells in 4 draw steps. I guess it could have been worse, but it's still not gonna be enough to win a game. I'm gonna name James to my sculptor here. At least we had some fun with I guess we're gonna keep this on 2 and get immediately punished. That's fine though. That's fine. Next turn I will bring the Vial up to 3. Now, because of Jace, I think it's better for me to tap their blue source. To prevent them from having double blue, or I guess making it a little bit harder for them to have double blue. Mentor. Alright. They put 2 cards on top. So now we are going to go to 3. I guess Brightling is the only thing that can save me here. And now I draw the 2-drop. This is pretty unfortunate. Yes. I guess Sword of War and Peace it's gonna be. And I can like actually flicker the Stoneforge to get some extra value later on. I should have probably ported an upkeep. I made a mistake there. we're in a rough spot. This mentor is really doing it. Maybe the correct play was to just have like actually played the sword on the last turn. My opponent was already had shown me that they didn't have any counter magic. Here I'm gonna block with Stoneforge and flash in the Wisp. Basically this gains me 3 life and it gives me an extra piece of equipment. Okay, so my opponent is actually going to use Swords to Plowshares on my Stoneforge. I guess I can call that a win. I guess I can call that a win. Okay. So I take 3. I guess I might as well pour them on at the end of turn. Oh, they have also Brainstorm. Why would they not deal 1 more damage if they were gonna do this anyway? That doesn't make much sense. One, two, three, four, five. So at the end of turn, I guess I port their Tundra. So if they have a Snapcaster, they have to use it right now. No. That's not great. I mean, I'm gonna try to get there. So they have 1 card in hand, so I will gain 1 life, my opponent will lose 1 life, plus 5 damage. Or maybe I should protect the Revoker. So my opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and every spell gives them 5 more damage, so that's 6, 11, 16. And this can give me like a 2-turn clock if I'm a little bit lucky. I mean, yikes, but I'm going for it. Gonna try to play to win. Okay. And I'm going to hold this in case. So I'm trying to blank that fetch land, I guess. But like most things I just cannot beat. Like if my opponent has a Jace, I cannot beat the Jace. Because the Jace just bounces my Flicker Wisp, so I cannot really block with the Revoker. If my opponent has both both swords and Jace, then I'm even more dead. Ugh. Not loving my spot right here. I guess they're gonna name the card that they know about. I think they brainstormed last turn, right? I can't remember. Yep, they draw 2 cards. They name engineer explosives. So basically I need for none of the 2 cards that my opponent drew to be a Jace, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 5. 11 plus 5 is going to be 16. 11, so that's still not lethal, but 11 plus another 5, it's going to be 21, and I can prevent 5 of those. Do I need to chump or not? That is a real question here. I'm dead to 2 spells. But if one of those 2 spells is Jace, it has to be exactly Jace. It has to be exactly Jace. If my opponent has exactly Jace, I die. But if my opponent has 2 other spells, any spells, I die. They already used 3 brainstorms. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. And I'm gonna force my opponent to have 2 instant speed spells that are not... Okay. Because I cannot beat Jace. And I chose correctly. I chose correctly. Now my opponent needs to get rid of 2 of their cards, otherwise they die. No on this. Can I get there? Disenchant? No, they don't have disenchant. Oh, swords? No, they cannot swords. Because I have pro white. I think we just got there. This is insane. I think we just got there. Unless my opponent is slow rolling me on a disenchant. Oh, they can swords their own guy. They can swords their own guy. That's what they're doing. That makes way more sense. So now they only take 7 and they go down to 2. So I gain 2, they take 2 more. And I guess I play a Gideon. I could have also played Gideon and zeroed, but of course that doesn't do anything, right? Because they still go down to 1. So I guess we're not going to get there, unfortunately. Force. Force be... No, they did have the Jace. They did have the Jace. So that block for me was actually insane. They had no blocks last turn, I mean. Do they have lethal? They need to draw exactly a spell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess I'm going to equip this guy and pass the turn. So they need to draw... Any spell kills me, but any land or any non-spell wins me the game. Alright. And that spell cannot be Terminus. This definitely smells like they have it. Or maybe it's a desperation attack because they know they're dead. They're gonna path swords their own guy. It's a swords. Yep, it's a swords. We were so close. We were so close. But it was not meant to be. We were so close. Anyway, that was very interesting. That was pretty sweet. Usually Death and Taxes kind of, you know, is propense to that kind of match where you are just you know, barely trying to get there, and every decision makes a ton of, you know, has a lot of ramifications. You know, every decision that you make has a lot of consequences a couple of turns down the road, which makes for some very, very interesting magic. I Yeah, so my computer just crashed. um, so my computer just crashed pretty badly. But it's cool because the match was over, and this is just. Vamos, Iván, gracias por el cheer. You're not the top cheer, dude. Congratulations. So yeah, so the deck was a lot of fun. I would probably at one point run a league with it. But yes. Besides that, hope you guys enjoy the stream. We are getting quite close, actually, only 30 followers away from our follower goal. What we're gonna do whenever we get to that follower goal is we are actually going to play prime time in Legacy with this beauty right here. So this is gonna be our. There we go. This is going to be our treat for making it to the 100 followers. This deck looks real sweet, and I'm actually super excited to try it out. Basically, I was sold when I saw that this had 4 Primeval Titans. I mean, it's 4 Prime Titans, right? In any case, basically I'm trying to postpone as much as I can the fact that I need to buy 4 show and tells, and this is like 80 tickets total. So that's what I'm trying to what I'm trying to delay as much as possible, up at least until we can make it to 100 followers. In any case, hope you guys enjoy the stream. Feel free to hit the follow button. I am a Twitch affiliate now, so you can actually also hit the subscribe button, which should actually be up there, over there. You can hit the subscribe button, and that of course helps support me, and you know, it gives me what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to all the money that comes from the stream, I'm trying to go ahead and save it up so I can actually buy a good computer, because my computer definitely does not have the specs to handle streaming Magic Online. But yeah, so basically all my donations will and everything else will go towards that. In any case, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.